What time is it? 10 o'clock. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Weekend Frivolity, the Broiler Chicken Show. Back. Actually, I was going to call my stepmother this morning, and unfortunately, Google's taken away my long-distance calling ability, so I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm going to have to, I don't even know, because I subscribe to a local cell phone service, and all my long-distance calling I was doing through Google. So, sent emails, and of course, and Facebook posts, but once I'm done with you guys, I'll have to figure out how to actually get in contact with her verbally over the net, I guess, somehow. Anyway, so happy Mother's Day and all that. Unfortunately, I've told you guys in the past, crypto has never liked my birthday, and I got a bad feeling the first few days of this trading week could be a bit nasty here for crypto, so be forewarned. I will say, me personally, and all those sort of long-time watchers, it probably was a bit humorous, and I did notice our marketing guru David spun the stories so nicely in the little marketing emails that we've been sending out to people who might be interested in joining our school program. So that was a lot of fun to read those comments, but thank heavens I don't officially have to change my name. We never did get the absolute insane orgy blow off top in Doge. That was potentially on the table. You never know how these things go, but I do, if anything, I find it fascinating that, and I even sort of tweeted out to a certain effect here this morning. What I actually see is, and I've seen this developing over the years in crypto. You know, you millennial generation, you get angry at the 1% and Goldman Sachs's and Joey Diamonds of the world, but what you don't understand is exactly the same evolution is happening within the crypto space. It's no difference. It's exactly the same. So you're getting some, I actually see a lot of, there's like bully activity where one player will have an opinion about something and try to bully other people into either acting or behaving in their way. And overnight I saw a comment, and one of our OGs pointed out to me that there are people actively going to war in crypto, one idea versus another, which I don't know whether is really healthy, and it's even productive at the end of the day. When somebody was like, well, this gentleman's just pointing out that these people are acting foolish. And I was like, well, that's fine. You can point out other people's stupidity. I mean, I do that on a regular basis on this channel. Nobody seems to listen to me, though. But I don't know. You know what I'd like to see is I'd really actually like to see a little bit more empathy in this world. There's just not enough empathy. At the same time, too, though, I did watch through that whole Dogecoin pump up, the sort of the Prince of Nigeria type people. I watched this one clown on YouTube where, every third or fourth sentence was la 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 la. So it was almost like he was absolutely a perfect, almost, back to the BitConnect kind of days, Oh, Jesus. So I do understand and appreciate that, unfortunately, that has to be a natural part of this capitalist cycle. It is part of the landscape. But, I would love to see a little bit more guidance from all of these higher-ups, as opposed to You do this. Like, I am God, and now you do this. I really dislike that kind of stuff. I don't know. What can you do? Old man yelling at interneting. Old man yelling at the human species. Did actually in the lounge this morning, we were sort of kicking around. What do you like to do on Sunday mornings for fun? And unfortunately, in a market like this, right, you don't chase. There's not a hell of a lot you can actually go out and buy right now. What I've been telling everybody in our community is, hey, finally, prices are going to break and they're going to come back down into levels where I could actually start thinking about buying again. Yay! And we got like the shitcoin 5,000 challenge going, which, and I got a whole bunch of stink bids working in there, so maybe I can start getting some fills on my shitcoin. I love that. The shitcoin 5,000 challenge 2021. Brought to you by the good people at Jiffy Lube. No, I better not say that. They're going to sue me. Sorry. No, who's big on shitcoins these days in America, right? What's Dogecoin? What's Slim Jims or whatever? So, ironically enough, Doge, because of where the price is, it couldn't be on my shitcoin 5,000 list. It's already gone. But there is one coin that I absolutely love, and I think I'm going to start accumulating it on my own. And TRI, I mean, hell, we got ammunition in there. I got bids working, but I want to go and fucking build a big-ass bag on this thing. And it's only trading at like 10 sats. I mean, it's a joke, and I made a fortune off of this damn thing the last cycle, so no reason why we can't do it again. But the point here is you're not allowed to chase, right? Don't chase. So, as Bitcoin, or I suppose, well, it's the same analogy as Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, right? I mean, it's beautiful and it's fun to watch them just going absolutely apeshit to the upside. But you're not allowed to buy then. If anything, you got to be getting your sell orders working, getting ready to, take profits, ring the register. And actually, it was interesting, halfway through yesterday, because that Doge position did get up to a rather sizable dollar size for TRI, your behavior starts changing. And I find this fascinating. Every time this happens, and it's been fascinating working with the team that we have here. It's a very odd motley crew. It's a beautifully orchestrated crew by the other side to almost absolutely guarantee TRI is not going anywhere. It's like absolutely perfectly set up. It just will be. So, but fascinating also too with the gentlemen that I've been privileged to work with over these past few years, educating them, just slowly turning them to, I've been doing this for like 30 bloody years. Them seeing all the sort of things that I've learned over the years. If one of my partners, I think we've talked him off the leverage wall. So he's not really too interested in trading on leverage anymore. And there's plenty of money in this really insane, volatile crypto space that you don't have to trade on leverage to double, triple, quadruple your money. So there's really no need to take that risk. At the same time, too, if you fancy yourself a sharpshooter, I absolutely love TRI's evolution in that we have a professional day traders room that they just sit there and trade things like the ES and gold. And it's so beautiful because literally it's a replication of the life that I lived at Top Step, where most of the business is done by about 8:30 my time here on the West Coast. And these guys are all checking out, counting their profits, and off. See you guys again tomorrow, right? It's our trading window is like 4:30 a.m. my time to 8:30 a.m. my time. Horrible. But if anything, it's beautiful that it's literally like deja vu. And that's good. Because Top Step, they produce kick-ass traders and they make a lot of money. So if we wanted to be good, I would want to feel as though the atmosphere is exactly the same, and it is. So congrats to Kiran and Graham and Daniele and all them in the day trading room. Having lots of fun. We got Zach now, I think, is an excellent value stock picker. And value stock pickers are hard to find. There's just some people that value investing appeals to them, others not so much. And Zach, I think, is an excellent a barometer for value hunting in the market. And of course, in these kind of markets, we were actually considering buying GameStop at like $4.50 a share. It was meeting value screens at that point. And of course, we all know what it's done following. Now you can't touch it with a 10-foot pole. So, TRISOF Club, we're trading warrants, we're trading options. Oh my God, lots of fun with those guys. And we've got like recent level 3 graduates, people like Ray, coming on really strong with like algorithmic and screeners that filter the whole options universe. Haven't done as much work in options as I'd like to, but now that we've got Ray in the fold and all his algorithms and stuff kicking ass, I think we're going to have a lot more ideas to chew on there. So super stoked for that. Of course, as you can see on the screen, Sjord, and it's so beautiful about TRI and this experience. I think for like literally 2 years now, the meme has been never been closer. So we got really close to the finish line there about a month or so ago, and I started getting all excited and shit, and oh man, the breadth charts and signaling systems, and all of a sudden the system had a major hiccup. So unfortunately, the dashboard has it's been on hiatus now for the past week or two, and frankly speaking, I think Sjord's getting a little burnt out. I mean, this has just been an insanely difficult project for him, and we hit a bit of a data threshold there, so it means we got to throw a whole shitload more money at this thing to be able to handle all the data. But growing pains, we will bring this. We've never been closer. We really want to bring this to market. I think it will be evolutionary, so we're just going to keep on keeping on. Data is the new oil, maybe. Well said, sir. Maybe we should create like a TRI data processing GoFundMe campaign just to handle the cost of dealing with all this data, because you guys are asking for a lot of screeners, and we might even sort of curtail the amount of screener stuff you guys are doing, but anyway, that's for down the road. It's a project we continue to work away on. We will not give up until this thing comes to fruition. And the cool part about it is we're capitalists by nature. All the stuff that I've learned about the process, and really all this is going to be is just incorporating more ideas for you to consider as you go through the process. If you follow the process, even manually, write it down on paper, with a pen or even a pencil, imagine that, the process works. So I've been stunningly well rewarded over the past, I guess this TRI experience started about 7 years ago, and you all know my story, and if you don't, maybe a refresher is in order. 11 years ago, I was trying to run a small hedge fund out of my home while supporting 2 people on long-term disability. That was my life 11 years ago. I had 2 very elderly business partners who used to be a couple of my clients when I was a retail stockbroker. And it was a downhill. It wasn't slippery. It was steep. It was a nightmare slope that just was getting steeper and steeper and steeper. And ultimately, I couldn't be enough of a support for both of them. And it ended in horrific tragedy with my wife taking her life. I mean, that's how bad can get in this world. My son, I mean, no fault of his own. I mean, he was brought into this world severely disabled, so God sort of set him up from day one, totally handicapped, and basically playing with half a deck of cards. But at the same time, too, I mean, like I try and tell people on social media recently, try and have empathy about people who bought Doge at the top. I mean, that's just stupidity. But I mean, just imagine your life if, God gave you only half a brain to work with. And you have to try and figure out your way through this nightmare of existence. So, man, I'll tell you, that experience dealing with my wife with severe mental illness and physical illness, and my son dealing with severe autism, I tell you, that's pretty damn humbling. It just goes to show you that things like money don't really mean much in this world. And unfortunately, the people that are in control of money, they don't seem to respect that. They don't seem to understand that. And they will fuck around with money and credit and stuff like that to serve their own purposes. But they're missing the whole meaning of this existence, which is sad. Hopefully at some point as a species we can get beyond that, but I don't know. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. But I'll tell you, that kind of experience, then of course after my wife passed, I had no choice. There was no way in hell I could support Liam on my own, so I had to basically reach out to the state and set up, basically in-care facilities for children with severe disabilities. I mean, very humbling, very end of the line. Government makes you feel as though you're a total piece of shit, and I had to, fight for my son and to make sure that he didn't just get, gobbled up by the system and disappear. It's been quite a journey. There's no doubt about it. Haven't given up, haven't wavered, ever. And I won't. It's just who I am. So, I jokingly joke with you guys, hey, Dogecoin, maybe he's going to be able to buy a house for my son. That kind of fun thing. Well, ultimately, that's sort of the end journey of this. I've been working with you guys in the crypto space now for about 7 years. And we started with nothing, absolutely nothing, not a dime in our pockets. Like I said, I was at the mercy of the system, and of course, when my wife died, I was a total basket case. So, actually, I went into debt after she passed. So not only not having any disposable money, but actually going backwards. It's pretty bleak, I'll tell you that much. Which is ironic because in that space, of course, licensed investment advisor, and you look at your professional designations, you're supposed to have just over-the-top incomes and stuff like that. But, in reality, capitalism doesn't really work that way. What I learned is you're only as good as your last trade in this game. If you're some sort of advisor. So, if anything, I was very fortunate, and I don't know whether it was divine intervention or Brian, maybe hallucinogenic, who knows. But it feels as though I was guided towards, hey, you got a bit of a skill set in that I've worked in the markets a very long time. I'm fairly articulate, and, that's something I actually take for granted. Is that I can communicate relatively effectively pretty complicated ideas and try and do it in a lighthearted manner. So, at the end of my rope, I don't know what to do. Of course, my son, I feel like a total idiot, and then, my wife doing what she did. There was nothing left for me. But like I said, I actually feel as though I was sort of guided towards this end. And the interesting thing is, I think that, and subconsciously I do feel this way, that the job that I was asked to do, it has been done. So, as I said earlier, I've been rewarded life-changing events. I mean, if you actually think about it, in like a very short period of time, 5-10 years, I've gone from basically right on the edge to worthless in society's monetary eyes, a failed father, failed husband, really no reason to be alive, to I think people in the special needs community that I work with, I think they really see my dedication to my son, and they believe that it's not just a load of horse shit or something. I think all of you, I think the message has been consistent over the years. I'm dedicated to him without a shadow of a doubt. I think I've been consistent in that message of, I'm not here to fleece you people. I'm not even really here to make any money. I don't really even care. And Julian can attest to this. First few years that we did this, I didn't care about the money. I was just like, let's just make sure that the bills are paid. Let's make sure that, you can pay rent let's throw $500 at crypto and let's go see it and let's go have some fun and see what can happen. I can comfortably say now, without a shadow of a doubt, I am technically a millionaire. So, I have been rewarded. And thank you, JoJo. Thank you, universe. But I think it's really important that you all need to understand the only way that happened, you have to hear this message, people. The only reason why that happened was I didn't care about the money. That's the only reason why that happened. And you look back and you go, oh, gee whiz, look what happened. I've followed the process, things like buying a DOGE coin at like 15, 20 sats, 30 sats, selling half of it when it doubles in price, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 sats, and then just going and reinvesting, throwing the bid right back in at the bottom. Paltry amounts, like 0.01 BTC when Bitcoin's $5,000. Well, that's not that much money, is it? So, now just letting the market do its thing, all I'm doing is I'm just following the process. The market will just do its thing. And what you're going to learn, if you can learn this, is that almost all of these stories that you see in our Fakezi society, they're usually, when it comes to the public's attention, it's usually the end. And what really is going on is the people that got in at the bottom, they are actually wanting to try and sell in size at the top. And they'll pump the story up nice and juicy into the public, and unfortunately it's one of these sort of buy the rumor, sell the news scenarios. It's my approach to this whole game really is to try and demystify this, but by demystifying it, you actually show it for what it really is. You have to buy when nobody is interested. When people in the public basically say, well, this is garbage, you'll never make money on that. But then you go and look at the fundamental story, something like a Doge of 20, 30 sats, and you go, well, it's got a really diverse community base, really wide ownership. These people absolutely love this story. They will never sell. Why would this thing go away? And the blockchain's validated by Litecoin, so as long as Charlie's around, the thing's going to just keep being validated. It's almost bulletproof. I'm sure when Elon looked at Doge down at like 30, 40 sats, he went, this is a no-brainer. I could easily pump this thing 100, 200, 1,000x. I mean, this is a lock. All I got to do is just point my Tesla algorithms at it and just keep accumulating, keep accumulating, keep accumulating. As soon as the sellers get exhausted, well, open sky above. That's basically what I think's happened here. What I would also say, too, is that this is actually a very normal sort of time of year for when this is supposed to happen. If you're taking notes and you haven't heard this before, it just goes buy when it snows, sell when it goes. And it doesn't really matter what asset it is. And if anything, if you see the market ramping up into the end of the year, that's not a good sign. That's maybe I better just leave this shit alone for a couple years and let the normal seasonalities take over. But when people are motivated to sell stuff at a loss into tax loss selling season, that is a sign of the bottom. That is the sign of people getting out. And of course, smart money. If the herd is going one direction, what are we best served to do? Actually, I was trying to mention it earlier, but I don't think I really got into it too much. But Sharktoshi shared a really cool video this morning in the lounge, which I really liked, about being the psychology of conformity. And fascinating how that was this image here. I mean, I thought this was a really interesting listen. I like, clearly, if you've watched this channel a while, long enough, you have to understand, to make money from trading, you cannot follow the herd. You have to force yourself to be non-conformist. You have no choice. I mean, if you want to follow the herd, that's fine. My suggestion is do the mutual fund route. Do the dollar cost averaging route. And don't get into the business of trying to outperform, right? You want to just ride along there with the herd. I mean, that's the whole point of conformity. And, the funny thing is, in our silly little Fugazi society, that technically you go and buy things like that Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. Let's say you buy the DIA or even the SPY, even better. I mean, it is a guaranteed rise-only market. Why? Because they actually kick out members that underperform, and then they go and cherry pick. Oh, that company's doing really well. Let's put him in there. So instead of American leather and saddle, nobody's buying saddles anymore. Nobody rides horses to work. They're buying these fandangled car things. And actually, that's a great analogy. I mean, you want a funny story? When automobiles were first introduced, automobiles were actually sold as an environmentally friendly alternative to the horse. Which I find hilarious. I mean, that's great. It just goes to show that everything is so twisted in our society to get you to take that goddamn money off of your hip pocket and spend it. Yeah, they used to in New York City. They used to have, they would complain at the end of every single business day, they would have a 3-story high mountain of horse shit to deal with. 3 stories high every single day. So, I mean, it just goes to show we humans, we are so played. It's almost funny. Yeah. Oh, look at that. And there's somebody already going, rant. When are you going to go out to the fucking price charts? Jesus Christ. All right. Hey, you know what you got there, Mr. Peekaboo or whatever, is, man, you got a heartfelt message there from the old man today. You should, if anything, I would suggest all of you play that, back a few times and really listen to that. Don't get sucked into this fucking Joey Diamond world that we live in. Just don't. So stupid. Such a waste of energy. Why weren't you all coming in and buying Ethereum down when that crazy guy used to live in Chile? Where the hell does he live now? Dav. I don't know where the hell he is now. He and I did a video there, and actually one of the coins that I mentioned in that video is doing really nicely today, and I think, man, this thing, sky's the limit. It was impossible to get you guys even the slightest bit interested in these names a few years ago. Now, of course, it's all the rage. I mean, that goddamn Ethereum. He and I did that video back, when was it? It was like right here. I mean, go look at Google. I mean, Jesus, if you just did, you watch that video and you threw like, I don't know, $10 at it right there, right? So that means you bought 0.1 Ethereum. Boom. I bought 0.1 Ethereum. These clowns on the interneting said this thing might go up. What would that be worth? 0.1 Ethereum? That would be worth 3,800. Jeez. 0.1 at 169. That's only $16 though, right? So $16 is now turned into what? $200? It's not a bad rate of return. Now, one thing I don't like, and of course you guys, you hear this from me all the time, it's the same message as Doge here, right? I mean, I suppose we can talk Doge levels here. But people are probably sick and tired of hearing Doge. I'll use Ethereum, that's fine. If anything, what I was doing over the weekend while people were going apeshit about Doge is I was trying to figure out the matrix here. And I got a funny feeling, you could see there's this huge cluster of all these foggy levels, especially the magic 4.669 one, right? I think that's that's the magic one, and all these other ones are sort of derivatives of it. But notice how that's all right up around that $5,000 mark up there. So I got a funny feeling this thing really wants to go up there. But point here is, I remember I was a retail stockbroker, fiduciary responsibility, old man yells at interneting, all that kind of shit, right? I have to tell you the right thing to do, right? If I don't, then it breaks sort of the Carney Code. So, when Dav and I were doing our funny little video, hopefully you can see W's down in here. There's that March dump, COVID, all that craziness. And then, of course, there is the big honkin' weekly W. So, this is what you're here to learn, right? And especially this kind of, it breaks out, it comes back down, and look at the fight that developed through here, right? I mean, if you fancy yourself a market timer, this is what you're here to learn. The W, the breakout, the pullback, the consolidation confirming that, look out. So, down in this area, okay, cool. But once you're gone from here, then the fiduciary starts coming out. And I start saying things, well, this might be a trading range. So can I endorse you to come in on the long side as we're pressing up into things like Mountain Man and, Line in the Sand and Kavarkinator, sort of. Actually, Leprechavark, I think that's what. Has anybody on the site seen Ian lately? I hope he's doing okay. I heard that he moved back to Germany. I hope that went well. Anyway. So, talking to the public, right? Yeah, you could come in here. I mean, we have just a really simple rule that you use the 50% rule as sort of a profit objective. So, you can even see, come down here, 100, 200, anywhere down in this area. If I use 50% rule, which is very normal, very natural to be expected, if I use that as my profit objective, then that really means if I want to say sell half on a double and establish a risk-free position, that means technically I could try and force myself to buy at $375 or lower, right? Which is actually how ironic, right? It is the breakout level. What a surprise. This produces a risk-free trade. Buy here, sell half here, get your original money back, you got yourself free coins. That's the shit that I do. That's the shit that I teach. That's the shit. But, and this is the tough part with me, right? Is that just because the price is right here, and, maybe even here, this kind of stuff. I mean, you could argue to a certain degree, this image is actually the exact same image, right, as this. It's actually identical, but just off a higher time frame. I suppose, if you did justify coming in and buying here, that means you have to risk down to here. And I don't think a lot of people, especially like margin and leverage people, there's no way they could take that kind of risk. This is tough. I will say, speaking of, sort of celebrities and stuff in the crypto space, Da Vinci, we did that video here. Love the trade. And there are lots of, there's ideas that are actually looking like this right now. And I'm trying to buy them. So, of course, none of you people in the public are even the slightest bit interested in those kind of names. You want to, like somebody said, we want DOGE, right? So everybody in the public, they want to, where do I buy Doge? And frankly speaking, I don't think you buy Doge anywhere. Doge is ridiculously overvalued. And the rule is, Doge below 40 sats is a buy. Is Doge anywhere near 40 sats? So there you go. Merry Christmas. But the point here is, as sort of a professional money manager, going to teach you the right thing. Don't ever want to hear from that SEC guy saying, "Hey, Beamish, you're kind of shilly here. Did you forget your fiduciary responsibility as an investment advisor? We are going to start holding all these YouTube influencers to account. So you better make damn sure you're not saying things that are actually not in these people's best interests." La 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 la. Fucking, now I actually see why these regulators go at this so hard, and why they did. In the 1920s, it was things like astrological newsletter subscribers. Now the Prince of fucking Nigeria can get on YouTube and get a channel shilling Doge to the public diamond hands, right, at the drop of a hat, which frankly I think I'm just absolutely disgusted by. So, man, this 21st century capitalism, I don't think an old man like me can handle this. It's vicious. I will say, let's take a moment. Let's talk a little. So just to finish off this thought, can I at any point here come along and tell anybody that, buying Ethereum here, that's a pretty good investment decision? Come on. I think I told you guys before, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if we get a Mountain Man pullback here, 61.8, I think it is the buy opportunity of a lifetime. So right now, that's been sitting right now at about $1,500 on ETH. I could see that. I have a chart here where I compare the previous Bitcoin bull run and what Ethereum's doing right now. There's a hell of a lot of parallels here to this chart. Stunning. So I don't know whether it can happen now or whether it happens after this 20,000 peak, which I could very easily see happen. One thing I will say is I really do, but I don't know what the hell I've done with the chart. I should try and get it for you here, but I don't want to blow up this silly screen here. Wish me luck here, everybody. Let's see if I can find it for you. Oh, but you know, it's going to be all screwed up. I hate how they do that. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. But, oh well, give it a shot, see what happens. Did I just get rid of that chart too? Oh, yeah, I did, darn. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it's moving. Yes, the market's not even open. What the hell? Anyway, I did up, and these charts take forever. TradingView screws them up, so I can't really show you. But this is what I kind of think our future is, and this is this particular year in the cycle. Let's see. Do I have that Twitter feed around here somewhere? I know on Twitter I tweeted the image out, so it's pretty easy to find. Just to show you guys, it was a few weeks ago though. Rant. When's it gonna look at price charts? Jesus, come on, driving me crazy. I guess that's not me. Is it? Yeah, that's me. Is that me? Yeah. Where the hell is it? Months ago. You know who would have been far better to be on Saturday Night Live would have been this guy. Way, way better. I don't think Mr. Musk... First off, I don't even think Mr. Musk is really that good of a spokesperson for cryptocurrencies. He's not one of the principals. He hasn't been here since day one. He kind of jumped on the bandwagon late. If there was going to be a guy who'd be a really good public spokesperson for crypto, it would be this guy. It should be. I would nominate Novogratz. And, you know, his galaxy, Jesus Christ, this galaxy is going to take... This guy's going to be the next Joey Diamond. He's got Joey Diamond written all over him. He wants to be like the Goldman Sachs of crypto. So I keep a close eye on Mr. Novogratz. Man, I really dropped the ball last year on his stock. Fuck, man, I totally fat-fingered that trade. Oh, well, shit happens. Okay, where is that long-term chart? You crazy long-term charts. Crazy long-term charts. It's around here somewhere. You can see I got kind of a little bit of a love affair with Mr. Novogratz. Man, I gotta tell you, man. You know what I like is I like to see execution. I like to see professionalism. I like to see, perfection, for lack of a better word. That Novogratz guy, man, he is fucking just the man. Anyway, where the hell's that damn 4-year chart? I think we're getting closer. Getting closer. I can feel it. Come on, there it is. Yay. Okay. So, if you're relatively new to crypto, this is a really good reference piece for you to keep in mind. Think of 4-year business cycle. It's pretty simple. And interestingly enough, I do think that we are in this particular part of the cycle. And, if you go back and look at 2013, kind of, what was the mental mindset of Bitcoin through that kind of environment? I do think that there are different sort of evolutionary sort of phases. And actually this might be interesting. Like we were sort of comparing Ethereum to Bitcoin. And maybe Ethereum's looking more like this, and that would make sense, sort of stage 2. So this is like stage 1 of sort of maybe mass adoption kind of acceptance. This is stage 2. Wonder what stage 3 looks like. I didn't notice through all of this nonsense of, DOGE and even Ethereum. I mean, fucking Ethereum's just going for it here. Corn's just sort of like, I'm just doing my thing. I'm being a Bitcoin. They diluted the money supply 10x, so my price 10x higher. I'm the corn. I am that asset that's basically gonna replace Bitcoin or replace gold as a store of value. I'm there, right? The funny thing is there are some people in this space that through this period have been going 10x, 10x. Oh no, man, you got to buy Bitcoin. It's going to 500,000, but I just don't see it. I see a very well-defined trading range. I see a guy who's written a hell of a lot of lines on his screen, and really not a hell of a lot is happening. Just back and forth, back and forth. Let's crank up the FOMO buyers, and then let's rip their hearts out when we got everybody nice and long. Business as usual. I will say, I've been in this space a while. Usually around May 11th, Bitcoin doesn't like my birthday. I've never seen Bitcoin do really well on my birthday. And looking at this price chart, I could very easily see the adults come back to work. They see the stuff that happened with DOGE over the weekend, and you see where key support is here. This is actually looking a little dangerous to the downside here, but it still looks like they could take it a bit higher here, so that's kind of cool. But to me, this looks like a megaphone. And actually, one of our site OGs been doing a lot of work with megaphones recently. I think you probably also could play sort of like connect the dots, that low, and that low. All right, so I don't know where the hell this low is, somewhere in there. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, right around my birthday. That would be so typical of Bitcoin. But at the same time, too, that's not Bitcoin going to like $10,000. All that is ironically enough, Bitcoin coming down into, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Wu likes the idea of accumulating Bitcoins, anywhere south of 40 Gs. So, I can't quote him on that. I don't know whether his metrics have changed or not. But bottom line here is dumps, I still think, are buying opportunities. And I don't really see, in this insane world. 10 years ago, if you had asked me, well, is the Federal Reserve going to increase the money supply tenfold in a matter of 2 or 3 years? I'd go, what are you, crazy? And yet, that's exactly what they've done. So, what the hell? I don't, people go to economics school for like 20, 30 years based on the principle, you do not fuck with the supply of money. 10, 15 years ago, we would have said, well, that's Zimbabwe. Do you want your country to go the direction of Zimbabwe? Oh, you don't like that one? That's, Venezuela. Do you want your country to go the direction of Venezuela? That's Weimar, Germany. Do you want your country to go the direction of Weimar, Germany? That's 3 examples just from that century alone. There's probably tons of other ones. I think Argentina, when the Citigroup fucked them over. How did that go? Why would this be any different? So, and I don't think COVID's done. And I also don't think that the 1%, the banksters, really what their agenda here is they need to inflate the economy so much that, yes, the amount of debt, what we perceive as a lot of money now, really is nothing. I.e., it's going to cost you $500 to buy a loaf of bread at the grocery store. Not because the loaf of bread is so great, but because the currency is worthless. And the marketplace knows that the currency is worthless. So, in that kind of environment, is it realistic to actually think about Bitcoin going to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a Bitcoin? Yeah. Not because Bitcoin is so wonderful, but because the US dollar and all of these fiat currencies are worthless. It's pathetic, really. And I can't believe they're actually doing it right in front of our eyes. It's happening as we speak. So pretty depressing, to be honest with you, because My whole life living in the shadow of the baby boomers, the Gen X, right? We were spoon fed all the bullshit. We were spoon fed Tricky Dick's message. We were spoon fed Ronald Reagan's message. We were spoon fed, people like Bill Clinton's message. We were spoon fed, spoon fed. Junior Bush and Darth Cheney. Holy fuck, spoon fed, eh? But at some point, all of them said, well, we're mortgaging our grandchildren's future. Well, guess what? Here we are. We're in the future. They've mortgaged it. And the bankers are going, well, yeah, we're not going to take the loss. So, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I sure hope you got a little bit of Bitcoin on the books. But what I'd also say, too, and I think this is super important, I don't think it's in anybody who's wanting to try and sort of hedge their way out of this. And even, what I will say is, don't look for tops right now. Something like Doge, for example. I actually look at this price chart, and where's the one I wanted to show you? I don't actually see a top here, which is fascinating. I see some actors in the social media space are actually trying to intimidate other people in the social media space, which is kind of funny. Like, I sort of started off the rant today. I don't like how, some people are, trying to bully other people in this space. What the fuck's up with that? If you've got an opinion, great. Look at you Doge people. You're silly. Why are you chasing up here? Okay, that's fine. But, you start coming out and playing God and saying, thou shalt not do this or that. Well, I hate to say it, the market's a lot bigger than any of us. The market might just run you over. So, careful, Mr. You-know-who-you. I don't want to make any direct references. You all should know who I'm talking about. But, if you just follow fractal theory, right? Fractal theory just simply says, think of the maple leaf or something along those lines. That you have to have 3 candles here to actually confirm the fractal. So ironically enough, from a daily perspective, you don't actually get any kind of sell signal now until we break that low. That's the irony of all of this. All this is just fluff, right? And, I was joking with somebody earlier today. How do you define a bull market? Well, you define a bull market by higher highs and higher lows. Well, even now, if this is the low, you tell me, does that look like a bullish trend or a bearish trend? So be careful here, folks. One thing I noticed about last night that really jumped out at me, there was no reference to Dallas Mavericks and their interest in this name. There was no reference to, what the hell's that beef jerky? I was even making Slim Jims. They're coming really hard into this name from a corporate perspective. No reference to that whatsoever. No reference to Mr. Gene Simmons. No reference at all. No reference to Snoop Doggy Dogg. Snoop Doggy Dogg. Well, if you're interested in Doge, and, one thing I did hear from Mr. Wonderful last night is he sure said the name a hell of a lot. In a broadcast, he tried to get it in at least, I think I heard it at least 40 or 50 times. Something didn't smell right about all of that, to be perfectly honest with you. If anything, I even sent a message to somebody else yesterday. It felt like it served a purpose. There was a reason why they did last night. In a weird sort of way, it almost even, to a certain degree, took the fluff out of the story, even with his little comments. I mean, really dangerous. And now, of course, he's on record in public forums saying that it's a shill and it's a scam. Really, really dangerous. But I don't know whether the story here is actually over or whether this was just a very normal, price had just gone a little too far too fast. And they just needed to clean things up. And, there were a lot of these princes of Nigeria coming in, like I said there earlier. And they were kind of like, the guys at Slim Jim, they don't want the Prince of Nigeria to be eating their lunch. I can absolutely guarantee you. Guys like Gene Simmons, they do not want the Prince of Nigeria, to be taking advantage of their shill and their story. So I might argue that something like yesterday, it almost felt like the pressure of this thing moving up was so strong, it needed release. It needed to be relieved. But at the same time, too, it did not feel like an end of a story. It felt, to be perfectly honest with you, it felt incredibly amateur. The references, the jokes. I mean, the jokes were, no offense. Love you dearly, Mr. Elon, but, don't quit your day job. I think we all knew that. And if anything, I almost got the feeling like actually I just assume that people are public speakers, that they are public orators, that they can actually, do things like tell jokes in a public forum relatively comfortably. But it was really obvious, man. He was, I think he was stretched outside his comfort zone. Let's put it that way. But at the same time, too, he pulled it off. So congratulations. There weren't any major fuck-ups. There weren't any major gaffes. There weren't any major, oh man, I can't believe he said that, cringe moments. There were a couple cringe moments. But nothing that would actually derail anything. So, ironically enough, I think the only winner out of all of that was Lorne Michaels. And that's what I tweeted yesterday. Was the big winner out of all of this was Lorne. He was like literally the only person that actually really benefited smartly out of all that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, it was funny, because I watched the whole thing last night, and there was one point at which actually it was getting funny. And that was when they were doing the nightly news sort of summary thing. And the black guy, anchor guy, was going, "No, what the hell is a Doge? No, what is a Doge? Now, what isn't a Doge?" Over and over and over. And then finally, and Musk screwed the punchline up, but he finally said, "Yeah, it's just a shill." But, so, like I said there a moment ago, I don't actually have any cell signals here. That's the scary part about all this. Last night felt, like I said, very amateur. Felt very, Mr. Monks, I think you bit off more than you can chew. But he pulled it off. It wasn't a disaster. I don't think it was like the real Doge shill. I think last night was all about Elon. I don't think it really, if this was the Doge top, you would have had Gene, you would have had Snoop, they would have been parading them around. I guarantee you, when the Doge story is over, you're going to see Gene Simmons in his stupid little outfit running around on stages going nuts. I guarantee you. Somebody put that in writing. You're going to have Snoop Doggy Dogg walking around with like foot-long doobies coming out of his mouth smoking, the Doge and all that kind of shit. That is going to be the top in this story. That's the impression that I got out of last night's event. I think, ironically enough, actually, I kind of think it was a non-event. But it was a way, in my opinion, it was a way for them, the 1%, to kind of wash out the princes of Nigeria. Because even when I was sitting in there, I was just like all through this, and we've seen this before. I got angry at other people in social media for saying TA doesn't matter. Just go and blindly buy. I think it was Bitcoin or ETH. I got angry at somebody about just saying TA doesn't matter. Well, here's yet another example. Well, yeah, it turns out TA does matter. And if you go and la 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 la, diamond hands, just buy. Well, you I think last night was was just the most beautiful big old slap in the face. The interesting thing about yesterday's price action, I even put a tweet out to the effect, I said, some of the team is getting a little bit antsy because the position is representing a fair amount of money in the account, and they kind of wanted to lighten up. At first, I was kind of like, fuck off, this is my account, I'm managing it. Kind of like The Big Short, when the risk managers, if you've seen the movie and all the quotes and stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about. The risk assessment team comes into the guy's office and goes, sir, we'd like to talk to you about risk management of your short position on all these CDOs. His answer is, tell them to fuck off. and his assistant does, and they're all like, what? That's sort of my knee-jerk reaction. Anybody who sort of steps on my toes about a portfolio I'm managing, right? But then after a while, I was kind of like, all right. It's tough for an old dog to buy into this whole team thing, but we are a team. And I came back and I said, okay, if you two are super insanely, you want to get out of this thing, fine, give me a level. And tell me where to work in order. I'm not going to take ownership of it, but hey, this is team, and you guys are really stressed. I posted it. I thought it was interesting. I did up the chart yesterday morning, sort of like in here, and I said, well, we got an M top here. I don't even want to step in front of this. And at this point, through yesterday, this would be like, I guess, 2 days ago, I was still worried about having to change my name. Thank heavens. That is officially off the table now. Whew! I don't have to worry about that shit. The bet was if it went to over $2 here on this push, I would change my name. I didn't think it was going to happen, so that's why I was so outlandish with those kind of silly comments. But until I actually got bearish structure, I have to still think up. So, bang! Bearish structure comes in, big fat M. Uh-oh. So, when you see this, and you can kind of see, it's got a bit of a head and shoulders bent to it as well. But, M tops, market smiling at you, whatever. What I found in my experience is that if you want to get out of a position and you see this big M, people who are writing these or watching these videos and taking notes, right? This is a good sort of screenshot. Try and pay attention to this little range down in here. This is going to be the area where they'll try and get out. And actually it's interesting if you go off like an hourly chart. Same thing. That top was right up against those levels. You can see I drew, I drew this line here off of the 30-minute, but I even, I put out a tweet basically saying, look, if you wanted to get out of this thing and just hop off on the sidelines before the Saturday Night Live event, you're basically being given your window right here. And that was that level right in there. I was actually pretty surprised through the day yesterday. If anything, I think the team was probably a little shocked that I gave in so easily. Julian's like, okay. Didn't hear any message back from the team, so I just left the position alone. And I specifically said, I don't even give a shit about this. I've already this is free shit that, we've been building this position for the past 7 years. It's all free. I only want to really sell the bags when we get handed just a ridiculous amount of money. And frankly speaking, $500,000 for that bag I thought was a ridiculous amount of money. So I was willing to let it go for $500,000. So if they ask sort of, what do you want to do here, Brian? My attitude is it's free. Just leave it on the books. And if anything, this should be a really good lesson for all of you guys. I mean, the only reason why this thing is at, 100, 200,000, whatever the hell it's worth, is because I just haven't had an opinion. There's been lots of people that have been calling tops. Oh, you should sell now. Oh, you should sell now. Oh, you better get out. This is the top. Oh, no, that's it. It's over. And I've just been like, hey, I'm not really paid to have an opinion. I'm just paid to just try and stay in positions, good winning positions as long as possible. So, keep that in mind. And I also told them, too, I said, if we do sell, where are you going to buy it back? And what happens if we miss that buyback point and it goes to $2 or $3 then? There's no way after I've sold, there's no way in hell I'm going to change my name if I've already sold. So, I don't know, maybe Julia might have been like, well, I really want him to change his name. I want to call him Sedona. So, I gotta just back away here. I mean, their idea was right. Don't get me wrong. I mean, buy the rumor, sell the news. This was absolutely textbook. And it was a little ridiculous at how textbook it was. Because you can see the top up here. This is back to my 30-minute chart. And you can see the counter trend rally here. This was right after the initial dump. So this is actually the level at which the professional traders are actually strapping on their shorts. It is this window right there. That bad boy right there, that was a nice counter trend rally. All the Doge kids thought, awesome, this is a new move, new bull market. But what they don't realize is the market is simply rallying right back to the dead cat bounce fail level, the big M top, and giving the fat cats the opportunity to get short from where they should be short. And, the irony of it all is, Mr. Dickhead, that's a different guy in this space. But Mr. Silbert came out and is like, I'm going to short this thing into the ground. Well, my hunch is if Mr. Silbert is a half-decent trader, that was his short window right there. Then we sort of waffled around. And what was really interesting about this was literally the event. And, this is also an interesting commentary, too, that they actually started the show a little bit weird. Like, they started the show with a big sort of tribute to Mother's Day. And I think that actually kind of threw people off guard. And it started really awkward. And then, Musk came out and he had his sort of opening speech, and Mom was in there, too. And then there was this really weird sort of Doge reference at the very end of it. Mom didn't want Doge or something like that, or I'm going to give you Doge for Mother's Day or something like that. And you could just feel that whatever sort of inertia there was out of the sort of, okay, here we go. And then it just turned into a rout. It's just typical. Buy the rumor. Once the event actually happened, who was going to step in and buy then? Ironically enough, Mr. That he was probably actually dumping on that, which sucks. But if he really was a bull, that's when he actually had to be like, okay, Doge Army, buy now, and just overwhelm the bears. And actually punish this guy Silbert for having the audacity to come in and call market tops and bottoms, which is always dangerous anyway. I think this is actually, I think it makes sense what happened here. This market was way overextended. But to be perfectly honest with you, one of these days somebody coming in and saying, thou shalt do this, and then something else happens, they're going to get their head handed to them. It's dangerous. We had last, I guess, 6, 8, well, I guess maybe even a year ago. Good old Dav goes, sell your house, go all in on ETH. It turns out he was right. This guy here coming out and saying, sell your Doge, buy Bitcoins now. I said this shall happen. Turns out he's right. Okay. I'll tell you, I've been at this game long enough. One of those times you write one of those checks and it goes badly, it could destroy you. So I don't ever like that kind of approach. It's interesting, like I sort of said earlier, I don't actually really get an outright sell signal on this thing until we actually break through this low. And look at the size of that tail now. Oh, and this is also a Wyckoff check. It's probably, a nice 50-60% of this range here alone. So now we look at the lower time frame. What does that kind of look like? And actually, David O, he should probably be starting to pay attention to this chart. Should be really interesting to see what his impressions are. But I look at this and I go, this kind of looks like, and I'm not calling markets. Who knows what the hell's going to happen here. But big down, up, down, up. If we get a nice solid push against these lows in here and this low holds right down into here and then turn back up, that looks like it's trying to put in a fractal. If anything, what this is probably going to do, and this is typical of how I used to trade the futures markets, is, I try to teach on the site a gentleman that I used to work with years and years and years ago, Ray Burchett. He would always say that you can't really tell whether this is actually still a down market or we've actually transitioned back into a trading range until this 38.2 fib is quote-unquote resolved. So what does resolution look like? Yeah, usually we like the idea of market structure. So either a big fat M comes in here, that would be a rejection of this level. Or, like a nice W comes in and we break out through. And even better, David, he would love to, and I can't speak for him, but maybe he'll have a public show. Like if we got something like that, where you get a nice little buy signal against this shoulder, and he tries to sneak in here. Tough to do. Not going to sugarcoat it. So all you Doge fans, keep your eyes open. It's interesting how we have a couple battling trend lines here. And my my comment yesterday was, if you're going to look to sell at the original market structure level. Got one tag of it, so you could have let some go there. Then we got another tag on the actual event. Could have let some go there. So you can't even say that through the actual event you didn't get the actual trade level. It was there. The only problem, of course, is this thing was Wing out, and literally it means stepping in and selling right into the face of the big bullish event, which turned out to actually be a flop. Tough to do. Not going to say it's easy. If anything, this is why I like to just work open orders. And, like I said, Mr. Silbert, I can understand the trade. Trade makes sense to me. And congratulations. Hope you made a fortune. I think it's a bit dangerous, though, here to continue to keep pounding that short message. I get the impression this market was just too far too fast. And it needed to clean up, and boom, that's what it did. There's probably a lot of those diamond hand people that were like, geez, if it ever comes back down to here, I'll buy some more. And I think that's what they did, was they just bought. Now the question here is going to be, what is sort of the retail reaction tomorrow morning? And notice, this is interesting what they're doing here. Probably through the rest of tonight, we're going to be sort of playing around with that high there and that high there. And just asking whether is this really a new bull or is this a bear? Be careful in here. If you are a Doge trader. And really, for a guy like me, slow and steady wins the race. I do like the idea of them letting some go up here if you were so motivated. But I'm not motivated to do that. I really am not. Didn't really hear anything back from the team, so I'm just sort of like, meh, so what? Remember, we bought these coins at like 30 sats, so there's no risk on any. It's all free. It's all paid for. And if I go and sell this position, then that means I got to pay taxes on it. Like I said last night, I didn't hear anything from the Slim Jim people. I didn't hear anything from Davos Mavericks. I didn't hear anything from Gene Simmons. I didn't hear anything from Snoop Doggy Dogg. I didn't hear anything from any of the people that would actually sort of have a serious investment objective here. All I heard was from Elon, and what I actually heard last night was a lot of fluff. I didn't really hear anything of any substance at all. So, okay. I think I've talked this into the ground. So no real buy signals here. No real sell signals here. What hell? I mean, really, you could make the argument this is your trading range. Top of your range is up there at about 73 cents. Bottom of your trading range is 15 cents. Have some fun. But considering the massive corporate presence, all of those social media figures that I think do want to get paid and in size, I find it really hard to believe that that this thing's not going to hit $1. Oh well. So I'm not really in a big hurry to let any go. I did buy a little bit of this on I think it was the most recent, and actually it might have been this chart. Was it? Which one was it? Versus Bitcoin, I think it was. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah. So, I just building my crazy ass stack of free coins, all that kind of stuff. I did do some buying here of this thing, and my just very typical strategy, sell half on a double. I don't know. I had this order up at this 2.618 and this parking garage. If I see a big fat M, I might adjust that, but I doubt it. I think I'm just going to leave that, let it work. There's no real hurry there. The irony of it all is actually this is well beyond sell half on a double. I really like that 2.618, and I like the 1.618 level up top there. I find it hard to believe that this thing's done. And like I said, I didn't hear really of anybody last night coming out, sort of anybody of real significance. I will say I'm surprised at Mr. Musk. He must have a lot of people surrounding him that are very, very good at the sort of corporate law angle, that are really good at accounting and really good at PR. I've said it before, and please don't be insulted, Mr. Musk. I doubt he even gives a shit what I think. But I don't think he's really the best spokesperson for crypto or for Doge, for that matter. But in a weird sort of way, I think that was actually the plan last night. He was kind of, it wasn't really meant to be too serious. So I don't know. Call me crazy. So I suppose you all wanted to comment on Doge. There it is. And for whatever it's worth, I still think we're heading up top here. But I'm not really in a big hurry. I'll just keep selling halves on doubles. And for whatever it's worth, at this level, if we do actually hit this level, this will be sort of officially, I will be selling all my bags up here. Because, like I said, $500,000 on one of these funny little cryptos that I put no money into. What the hell, might as well get paid. But I'm not really in any hurry. And in fact, if this thing does puke out all the way right back down into this tail and we start painting a W, I'll probably go and buy these coins back that I sold. So go figure. But as it stands right now, no buy signals anywhere in sight. And my hunch is there won't be for quite a while. You can see how this acted down in here. If they do this, then that actually bothers me, because it'll mean, we're probably going to get this fill. And I might have to worry about changing names again before this pump is done. But as it stands right now, I think that's just one kick-ass trading range. Huge range there. Like I said, bottom of the range in sats is about 700-800. Top end of the range is about 1,200, 1,500, somewhere in that. And of course, if we do get dips down into these tails, which is down like 300-400. I think that's an awesome a gift of a buy window down in that area where you can see. I'm a little choked I didn't get this fill. If anything, I'd like to get this filled. Maybe do a nice big div up here and then puke out back down. That would actually make me much happier. But we'll see how it goes. There's no hurry for me to do anything on any of this. Names that have not performed yet. I mean, the irony of it all is I remember when Justin Sun, wasn't he part of the big team that was having lunch with Warren Buffett? And these 4 little crypto gurus were going to change the world and convince Buffett that crypto isn't so bad. So, all of these characters, they have their day in the sun. Right now, it happens to be Elon. Why, I have no idea. But it is what it is. Here, this is an example of a crypto guy who's got pretty big influence, and his coin is just now Wing out. I've barked about this forever. I don't know when it's going to go. I have no idea. And really, my job's not to tell you when it's to go. My only job is to tell you what I might be interested in buying. And I'll tell you, I'd be interested in buying some of this. But I'm not telling you to buy, and frankly speaking, probably none of you are going to buy. But when I'm banging out doubles, if you want to bang out doubles with me, awesome. Really good example of this, and I don't quite understand this story. Why didn't Mr. Silbert in his tweet tell the good people to sell their Doge and buy ETC? Why didn't he put tweets out saying ETC is wonderful? Did he? I thought he put out tweets saying sell your Doge and buy Bitcoins. You have to get out of Doge and buy Bitcoins. He says he was buying ETC. Well, I don't know. I mean, long and short of it here is this is kind of the pot calling the kettle black, isn't it? And I find it amusing. I remember back here, and maybe it's just because it was only sort of topic specific, but I remember sort of back here going, what the hell ever happened to Barry Silbert and his ETC? Now all of a sudden it's come back to life, and now Mr. Silbert's all public, talking, and all that kind of shit. So, I mean, I do find it a bit amusing of all people to be criticizing the Doge Nation. Of all people. Why this guy? I mean, if anything, and who knows, they all have their day in the sun. And I'm sure Alex hates the fact that I keep mentioning his coin. But technically, this thing is a Ethereum clone. And if they get the whole sort of bridging thing going with DeFi, then what would be the difference between owning this and owning Ethereum if you wanted to do DeFi? You could onboard both ways. So why isn't Mr. Silbert telling you to pick up some of this? Why are these people coming along and making comments about assets that are, fucking already bid up? Where was Mr. Silbert a month or two ago? And maybe he was, but I didn't hear anything about him. But where was he? Why wasn't he out there pounding the table? Buy my coin, it's cheap, it's undervalued. And now, of course, he should be saying, pay yourself. Woohoo! I don't know. I did find it fascinating that out of the blue, all of a sudden we're getting comments from Mr. Silbert. And gee whiz, his profile picture sure has changed. I remember he was this little skinny mini guy in profile pictures that I saw. Now his Twitter, he's all grown up. It's just like all of you guys, you're so cute. When I first came into this space, I think I've showed you those Doge pictures, like Shane and Alex and all the Doge kids and stuff. You all look so young. I know. I mean, that's the irony of this game, right? Is I could say, I love this Ubix story. And most of the public will go, boring. Not interested. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And there's so many. Look at this one. I love this one. And like I said, I'm going to go buy some just, I think I'm going to go, maybe I'll set up a wallet for Liam. And Liam will just go become a whale on this one. Look at that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah, and the worst part about it is you can actually see you can see the liftoff starting. There you go, Ewald. This is right now. It's sort of like ground control to Major Tom. Put your suit on and take your protein pills. Ground control to Major Tom. Get ready, all shit is about to hit the fan. And when this pops, you better have your sell orders working. Oh, that was terrible. Anyway, so, that's what I see staring us in the face in crypto. But, I mean, let's call a spade here, folks. Does this thing have any room to correct a little bit? Could we spend maybe the month of May, the month of June, which typically are seasonally tough times a year? Remember my birthday. Crypto doesn't like my birthday, and it's coming up pretty soon. We got tax filing deadline at the end of this week in crypto as well. So, I mean, do you chase that? No! Work your stink beds. Stinky poo-poo. Stinky potty poo-poo pants. Alright. The funny thing is you should all look at this and go, geez, it looks like there's some sort of W down in here. What happens if we go like, there's the W, alright? And then we go, alright, let's, whoops, even a little bit higher. Let's do one of those stupid reload things that Beamish is always going on about. I don't know, Mountain Man and lines in the sand. Oh, gee whiz. Now, hopefully, I mean, just even right here, you can see 2 reasons to justify considering taking a trade. And, of course, nobody knows what the hell's going to happen with this shit. So, as a result, because you don't know, right, we are taking a risk here. Are you going to bet the farm? No. Right, how does the saying go? Only bet what you can afford to lose. That's why I like to teach that little old lady strategy. Really be really interesting. Let's do a poll. I don't know whether we have the comments on here. If you're watching this video through the week, number 1, tell me whether you took the education program anywhere from, say, 2015 through 2017. Were you a little old lady when you bought your shit coins through that? And did you have the patience and discipline as a little old lady to have a 3 to 5 year time horizon? Which means even something as simple as this. If I came in here at 2018, we're just now at 3 years. So technically, I still got 2 years for this thing to perform. That's what little old lady means. 3 to 5 year time horizon. And I wouldn't be surprised within that 3 to 5 year time horizon, this son of a bitch is right back up top. I mean, obviously, don't chase. You're not supposed to buy up here. But even if you bought like that dip or anywhere along here, right, within 3 to 5 years, little old lady, really simple. Don't overthink this. You did nothing through all this. Absolutely nothing. Maybe you went, I don't know, went to university, had a kid, who knows, learned how to play canasta. I think that's what those little old ladies do. And now, as your broker, I would be calling you up going, Gertrude, yeah, well, remember that little XDN, the digital note I told you to buy a year or 2 ago? Yeah, we were just nibbling away. Why am I talking like this? I don't know. I'm trying to pretend that I'm a little old lady. Okay. Well, all right. I'll talk normally. So we probably ought to get sell or half on double orders working. And now I'm supposed to talk like the little old lady. Oh, really? I completely forgot about that portfolio. Oh, well, it's been in good hands sitting with you. Thank heavens I didn't put too much money into it. Didn't really do much for a while, did it? No. Well, you never know in venture capital. This stuff goes up and down. But we took some time. We snuck in. Got a nice 3-4% stake in your portfolio working right now. And I can feel, they're getting frothy. So we should probably get some orders working. Just, never know. Sometimes these things pop. All right, dear. Well, you are my financial advisor, and it's in good hands, so I'll just let the money work. You got the appropriate level? All right, hit the tape recorder. All right, this is for account ABC123 for Gertie. We're going to place a sell order. We're going to sell half of the position of our digital note XDN GTC at, what's our purchase price? Our average cost is 0.005. All right, so we're going to place an order 0.01 GTC. I'll give you a call, let you know, Phil. Of course, you being a preferred customer, you get discount commission on that trade. Is that correct, ma'am? Sounds good, Brian. All right, I'm off to play canasta with the girls. Call me if I do any business. Will do, Gertie. I'll talk to you later. Bye now. And there you go. Hey, it's a broker's life. Da, na, 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 na. So, that's basically how I would run my book of business. And you just go through the Rolodex. Everybody remember what a Rolodex is? Next client. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Sell order working. All right. And your goal, of course, is to have a big fat order book. So when this thing does pop, it's like it's Christmas in July. Bring! Look at all those fills. So anyway, that's what I would be thinking right now. And if anything, what I really like is I like the idea that, number one, Bitcoin, top end of the range, consolidating. It should back and forth here. We're in that crazy ass growth market. So, look, I like the idea into the end of the year. Big pop on this whole space. That's what I'm looking for. But over the period of May, June, usually, they say sell in May and walk away. Usually the market doesn't bottom until usually the end of June, actually beginning of July. Tax loss selling deadline for the Aussies is, I think, the end of June. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the current stimulus check program, it has to pass Congress by the end of June. And I think their goal was they wanted to have it all done by that July 4th holiday weekend, American wave the flag, all that kind of stuff. So, put it all together, seasonally healthy. Let's maybe just cool our Lambo jets. Somebody was asking about, I've got this Shitcoin 5000 challenge, right? And so these are all the absolute garbage that's still left alive on Trex. And I've gone and thrown in some stink bids, off of reload zone ranges. And, just throw 0.01 BTC at them. Look, you can see this BLK, man. It's not even stopping, you bastards. So I need that through this month of May, June. I need this space to calm down a little bit, please. You can see this Enigma. Looks like it's trying to calm down here, put in a W. I think I went and picked up some of that. And I know I had a stink bid on this SRN I got filled here. So I have bought a little bit of the Shitcoin 5000 list. But, these are absolute shit. No guarantees from the management. In fact, the only guarantee I will give you is you will have wonderful edutainment out of participating in these names. Then you're probably going to lose money. So that way, that prevents me from any, moral obligation hazard with the SEC. You buy this, you're going to lose money. There. Now none of you will buy. I'm off the hook. I got my bids working, reload zones, pretty typical stuff. And I'll report how this goes. I already got 1 or 2 doubles off. And I did notice a lot of people on the site, and you totally left me behind. Look at this Firo. Look at that chart, you bastards. Look at that. It's just so textbook. Somebody take a screenshot of that. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that, folks. But I can't chase. I'm not allowed to chase. So, got my stake bids working, and I need that June-July pullback to give me fills. So, if anything, I kind of want the market to go soft here a little bit. Okay, I've been blabbing away for about an hour and a half. Did you guys get any value out of that? Any specific questions? Let's see. What are you guys saying over there on YouTube? I sent one guy from DJ Group to your course. Oh, cool. Thank you, Edward Alexander Lominar. I am not going to remove my laser eyes until 100K, even if it takes another 4 years. Oh, wow. There you go. No exception on BTC price during your B-Day. No, usually Bitcoin, and really it makes sense, right? Sell in May, walk away. The statistical odds of the market being down on my birthday right in the middle of May, I mean, the statistical odds are against the corn, right? But having said that, maybe market tanks tomorrow and Tuesday, and then, Wednesday it rallies. Who knows? Actually, TLM looks good at 61.8. Just added today for LOL. Would appreciate if you could share your thoughts on the chart. TLM. I don't know what that is. Is that a stock or a crypto? Look what they've done on this. Look at the size of that tail now. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. They're probably bringing it back. They're bringing the DOGE back right to my level here, right? So anybody who bought like retail Monday morning, they can get out at that level. Because clearly that's the level that the institutional players are focusing in on. I think that's like 70 cents. If you can work your order on Doge 69 to 70 cents and you just want to get out, that's not a bad level to consider. No guarantees on the management, though. You know how the story goes. Just my opinion. TLM. What the hell is this? TLM. On Binance? Well, that's not terrible. You're not chasing, so that's good. It's probably a little bit early. I mean, if it's got a great fundamental story, rock and roll. I don't know what the fundamental story is, so I wouldn't be able to comment. That's cute. Yeah, it's a little expensive. That's middle of the range. That's not really cheap in my eyes. Not quite sure what 61.8. Yeah, so keep in mind, Brandon was a pit trader, right? So he would be in there going, all right, give me the fill. And then, probably on this rally, he'd probably even be letting a little bit go. Then move his stop to scratch. And as long as these lows hold, fine, he stays in. But, is that sort of like level 1 kind of trading you'd learn at TRI? No. That would be like Kiran level 2, the professional futures traders program. What I also say, too, is I don't like it when I see a trend line that looks like that. Because what that tells me is that really this is a trading range. So there's the top end of your trading range. So, if there's money to be made on this trade, if you had stepped in and just bought this W and said, well, Brian, I'm going to risk this window, the W, and I'm going to look to ring the register on the trend line tag. Okay. The old rule, make sure that the reward box is bigger than the risk box, and you're pretty much okay. Probably also say, too, you could dude up a chart going the other way and notice trend line tag just so happens to be right inside that reload zone. So something along those lines. So trend line, reload zone, probably these highs right here, kind of like Mountain Man acted as support. These highs are going to act as resistance. Could I justify doing anything there right now? No. But it was a half decent little level down here. And of course, sharpshooter traders. Interesting doji right in here. Right? You could probably even go down to I don't know what level of a trader you are. Who is this? Edward. But, the lower time frame people, hopefully you can see how that was actually pretty cliche. Nice little reload long zone right off the bottom. So, if you're Mr. Sharpshooter trader and you're trading these lower time frame charts, you can see the level. It looks like it was pretty good. But coming in here now, no, I can't do anything there. If I did want to come in, oh my god, this guy gotta buy this fucking thing. You goddamn sons of bitches, right? Anyway, probably work some stink bids. Maybe a start at Mountain Man. And then really I like the idea of buying against these lows. Yeah, interesting. There's no gaps in here, so it's pretty clean price action. So hopefully that helps. Probably because the chart's so clean, I don't know what the fundamental story is here. But, so there's your primary trend line. My hunch is there's going to be like Collins' pump chaser zone kind of idea. Where's Colin? There he is. So that would be up in here. So if you wanted to chase this thing, kind of like what you saw DOGE did last night, probably something along those lines. I'd love to see something like that, where this move here, you look down at your momentum indicators, and they're actually going into divergence on that event right there. The divergence is confirmed on this push right through here, up. Then the market quietly puts in a W and rock and roll. Love that trade. You want high probability trade setup? Hunt for that. And this is, of course, your indicator below. MACD, RSI, stochastic, Williams percentage R, CCI, OBV. There's a gazillion different indicators you could use that could give you that message. So, hope that helps. Let's see. Anybody else got any questions? Hey everyone! Was wondering, where do you see Dogecoin tonight? Well, I gave you some levels to think about there, Thomas. Wow, respect, Brian. All right. Obviously, I said something significant there. All right. God, I talked so long, I can't even remember what the hell I was talking about when you guys wrote this stuff. Oh, I love this. Look at this statement. Oh, it's why you are the best kept secret in crypto. I didn't even know I was a secret. All right. Well, that's good. At least you guys are hearing some value, so that's good. Hey, who's this? Hits00 says, I just joined. Thinking of signing up to the TRI school. I'm new to trading. Yeah, you Hits, put your fucking money away and get into the school. Learn the process. Can anyone share their experience, please? Sorry if this is not the right place to post this. It's, we got, I don't know whether you're listening to the show here. I've been bringing you the hits for the past 2 hours here, buddy. But we do have, and I don't know where it is. Do we have, Will, can you give him the testimonials page? I see you typing there in the lounge to hits. And somebody direct hits to the video here. I sure hope you're watching. Okay, I want to go back and finish off this stuff here on the YouTube page so they feel like they've been addressed. IB sent you support ticket. More than 48 hours. Uh-oh. D. Josh, I know Julian's been working like a son of a gun. So, are you on the site? You should be at Julian. Keep in mind, probably everybody should just be aware of this. The first week when we do this onboarding, and I don't even know, David, David, are you here? Is the sign up still open? Are people still able to sign up for this school? Does anybody know? You can see how completely out of touch I am. What a terrible salesman. Do we have a product that we're trying to sell you guys? I know there was something I was supposed to talk to you guys about. Man, I had to get my shit together here, eh? That's terrible. Let's see. I got a website around here somewhere. I know there was a link right on the top of the dashboard, so where the hell is that? Not there. Over here? Here? What's this? New school term! So, hits! Yeah, hits! Go to this page. Alright, and scroll down here. Man, this is such a fucking awesome read. I mean, seriously, hits. I don't know whether you're around. But just go read this. This is from the students. Not a single one of these was asked for or solicited anything. All we did was we just said, if you have something that you'd like to add as a comment of what you think of the school, please just feel free to write. I can't stress enough how we have never solicited any comment here. And this page right here, the way David put it together here, it just reads like poetry. It's just, and listen to the videos that we have together, that we put together here for you. I tell you, there couldn't be a better sales pitch than just listening to these people. Seriously. Hits. The only problem is I don't even know if the school sign up is still open. So what does it say here? School enrollment closes in 1 day and 11 hours. All right, you still got some time. Hits, you're good. Oh, what? Will, you don't like the level 3? Fuck you. Bastard. What's up with that? You don't like working with me? Will's in the lounge here. He said, you gotta take the level 1 and the level 2. It's totally awesome. It'll change your life. Well, we do have 3 levels here, Will, so thanks. And the 3rd level is actually the only level where you actually get to interact with Brian. So obviously Will wasn't overly impressed having me as his teacher. Oh, well. Anyways. Thanks, Will. Appreciate it. I don't know whether he's maybe you're in the... Maybe Will's in the level 3 and he's just started it. I don't know. I don't see a veteran tag there, so... No. Okay, let's keep moving through this here. So, so you haven't even done your exam yet, you slacker. So there you go. All right. So just that person who said that you didn't get any support, PM me on the site. Maybe even leave a message. You said support ticket 48 hours ago. I'll maybe leave a message here. I don't know Josh. Send an email, admin@therationalinvestor.com. We should be, we should take care of you. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Doggy, talked lots about Doggy there, Errol. So I hope you got good information about Dog. Ubik, yep, I talked a little bit about Ubik. I don't know whether there's a trade there or not, but I do think it's a value. All right, GRT. What the hell is GRT? GRT. Yeah, you know me. Where do you want to look at this? Kraken? Release the Kraken. Yeah, that's not the best looking chart. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of flagpole-y. Right, sort of. There's your flag, and there's your pole. So, at some point, if the story is still bullish, we'll hit up top. Like so. It's a little bit early for me to get all body because this was a new low here. So I'd really like to see 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. Also, too, that trend line stuff I was telling you about earlier, that stuff's gold. And, that's, anybody who runs into him, I think his nickname was Ron Damon. I used to affectionately call him Ron Jeremy. He was he really, a few years ago, he was sort of like, Brian, you got to get off your fucking ass and get on with these trend line setups. And I never used to trade trendline setups that much, but I was like, all right, fine, I'll do some more work on it. But here's a really good example where, this downtrend is not really over until you actually get a W on the other side. So here's the downtrend. Well, you got to get a W on the other side of this to actually tell you that a new uptrend is started. And you can see it's just not coming in. Breakout. Oh, maybe new low. Shitty. Sometimes with these, it really sucks, is this thing might actually have to come all the way back down against the trend line. And it'll actually do this. I mean, it won't go zero, but right if you change that to a log. So this thing could, and it'll drive you crazy, right? It could very easily just walk itself all the way along here. Also, too, if I was going to buy, Brian and his crazy reload zones, right? Now, there's a log scale, so it's going to look a little funny. But interesting how they're, kind of like you saw this on the Doge. I mean, the only reason why Doge stopped going down is because it started running into these institutional fingerprints. But you can really see this GRT. There's a structural level. There's a structural level, right? The interesting thing is I bet Foggy's actually told you that this was going to be the top. So if you went boobity-boo. And boom. 16.88. Nailed it. I noticed Julian's fucking 16.88 number. Man, that keeps coming up all over the place. I think Doge did that as well. Then we got this bigger one. Let's see what this line's up to. Oh, yeah. So look at that. So you got not only 16.88, but 877. And I like this kind of cluster kind of thinking, where what you're really trying to do is you're just trying to listen to the market. What's the market want? I mean, I don't want to tell the market what I want, because we all want Lambos, right? But what does the market want? What's the market feeling? I showed you that Ethereum chart, right? Was that this one? I think it was. No, a different one. Anyway, I had an Ethereum chart, and I had a whole bunch of foggies up there, and it's sort of just like listening. What does the market want? So I do like the idea that the market kind of was probing up into these areas, and then, oh boy, here comes a big M. All right, you're done. And until you start seeing W's on the other side of this trend line, just cool your jets. There's no hurry here, okay? And you see where reload zones are. It's interesting. This is, we were talking about Mountain Man before. So this is a great analogy that, Brandon, he might buy that level, right? But on any kind of strength, out goes half, move to stop to scratch, live with the results. If we never come back down to this level, and it just careens higher, great. He's long from the killer level, and he owns the market forever. But don't set yourself up, I'm a Mountain Man trader. I buy 61.8s, and understand that this is just going to hit here and take off and not look back. I mean, I personally prefer, 30 years into this game, I actually love, my favorite trade is when the market goes beyond 78.6 and then actually turns around and actually W's off 78.6. So in your scenario here, that would be sort of like here, let's go. That would be ideally down here, and then W way over there. So what's that? That makes sense, right? Look at that. I said that the market would bottom the end of June, beginning of July. So ironically enough, actually, that would actually be a perfect seasonal trade setup, which sucks because that means, oh, fuck, I bought this thing, Brian. You're telling me I'm not going to do anything for the next 3 months? Thanks. Or 2 months. 2 months. But two months or so. All right. I don't know. You guys getting any value out of this? What time? Holy shit, it's already noon. I got to get going. All right. So we get a couple of public requests, so that's kind of cool. We've got the school term starting up this term, so if you want to, and actually that's kind of cool, hits there, we might sneak you in to the school term. Julian's going to be over the top busy here over this next week, along with Graham and Kevin and Joshua. I've asked actually on the site if anybody wants to be a Kevin assistant or a Joshua assistant to reach out. So Joshua and Kevin, if you could touch base with me, I've got a few people on the site who said that they'd be more than happy to help you guys. If you are listening to this later on, we'll get those people set up. Level 2ers, of course, Kiran's all ready to rock and roll and rock your world. Marat, totally awesome. You're the best. And then level 3ers, I'll probably put together the list of whoever the hell it is that's in the program through the week. I'll look to shoot out the intro email midweek, and we'll look to have our first session this weekend, right? So we'll do our welcome back, and hopefully I can convince Will that the level 3 program is worth taking. You bastard. Oh, okay, well, I don't know, the lads, you're going to take the level 1 and level 2. They're awesome. Level 3, nah, not so much. I'm just playing with you. Okay, why don't we leave it at that? No, we're gonna. Yeah, I suppose level that level 4, man. There's a lot of topics. It's really filling up. Whether it be foggy, market symmetry, Sjord's use of Bollinger Bands and RSI, the Keltner Bollinger Band squeeze. We could, Kiran, I've asked him to do a little extra piece on moving averages. Oh, by the way, Kiran and Daniele are working like dogs on their day trading program. David O has got his market structure program going. Oh man, I mean there's so much on the go here. So, okay, I think I'm gonna leave the rant at that. If you have some more requests, I'll do a full session tomorrow on the site in the daily brief. So sign up for the 30-day trial. Get David's emails, all that kind of fun stuff. Get set up on the school. And let's get, if anything, use the next month or two that might be a bit soft in the market to get your personal shit all together. Get a nice shopping list of the names that you might be interested in buying, like my Shitcoin 5000 challenge. And start drawing reload zones. Hunt for the divergences in momentum indicators to come in. And then we start getting some W's, and hey, we're back into buying mode. But it's going to be a while, so there's no hurry. And of course, if you're brand new to all this, use the next month or two. Get the level 1 done. Learn the process. Get that shit all together so that when we do go back into a bull, you're all ready to go. I mean, this is perfect. I told David, I told Julian, I told Sjord, it's like the perfect storm. Everything here is just perfectly set up for you. The only question ultimately is, are you willing to put the time and effort to learn how to do this? If you do, the sky's the fucking limit. So, and of course, lots of stimmy checks. I don't think the bull's going anywhere. I think actually this stock market and crypto and stuff, I think it's going to go to highs that will just make everyone just absolutely astounded. Oh my goodness. Why? Because it's the last thing anybody's expecting. So that's probably what's going to happen. All right, everybody, have yourselves a great day. Wish me luck with the boy. Love those best wishes. They always make me feel really good. PMA for the win. All the best. And the only thing left for Brian to say is bye for now.